Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope y'all doing well. You know, it's funny, I posted a picture of my CZ P10 C, which is right now my favorite gun to, again, shoot and carry after all the nonsense that I've went through with my M&P and my SIG. I am back, okay? I'm coming home. I'm back. So I posted a picture of the trigger from Overwatch Precision and the Apex extended slide stop, slide release, or whatever. The reaction that I got from it was pretty funny because everybody was on the same page. There's no benefit from having this trigger installed, or is there? Show clear, we good? All right, cool. Now, the reason why I installed this trigger was not to get a lighter trigger pull or cleaner trigger pull. Had nothing to do with that. I just don't like how aggravating the CZ P10 triggers can get on your fingertip. If you're just shooting 100 rounds, 200 rounds, maybe towards the end of it, it'll let you know. That trigger blade protrudes so much that it can kind of get annoying. All right, and you'll feel like it's getting in the way. So my intent when I installed this was not to get a better trigger pull, but just a better trigger feel. And I actually got a added bonus on top of that, a shorter take up. Work clear. This is it. This is the take up, and that's the break. Now, I opted to get the whole pack. If you've watched my previous video, I think on the M&P, I talked about how I don't want to mess with springs because I messed with springs before with my FN, and yeah, it just turned into a whole lab, right? Where you test the spring, is this good? Is this reliable? Is this working or not? Did I mess my gun up? Should I go back home and just tell my parents I messed up, I need more money, and I would never leave home, that kind of thing. I say that to say this. I don't want to mess with springs anymore, but if you're building just parts that can work around what's already there and the springs that already exist, you've got my business. And that's what Overwatch does here with this trigger. It's a shorter take up just because of the trigger geometry, but they also, depending on what you get, you can get it with just the trigger shoe or the trigger shoe and the striker, and I opted to get both just to see if there was any improvements or a difference in the way that the trigger feels. I'll be honest with you, outside of the short take up, everything else is the same, which I like for a concealed carry firearm. Outside of my LCAT, this is what I trust and carry on me. Usually during colder months, this might be what I have on me with this thing, and I don't carry it with this mag. I just put it in here because it's empty and I don't want y'all to freak out. So there's that. I actually love the fact that it didn't change anything, okay? Same trigger pull, just shorter take up. We're right there with business. Reset right there. And the shoe itself, like the design just look kind of sick, you know. Just look at that. Just look at that. Pretty dope design. That's the break. Overshot it, but that's the reset right there. Break. Reset. So I actually like it this way and wouldn't change it for the word. So no, I wasn't looking for some kind of performance enhancement. No PEDs, all right, just shorter take up, better trigger feel. And that's it. Now, I haven't shot it yet. I will this weekend, and we'll let you know how that goes. If this works out well, what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna get the, I didn't even realize that Apex made, there are two types of slide stop, slide releases that they made. This is the extended one, but there's an enhanced one, which is shorter than this in terms of like going from left to right. It's a little shorter, stuff somewhere right there, which I think is better for a concealed carry firearm. So what I'll end up doing is, if this doesn't get in the way of anything I'll be doing at the range, I will probably just get the shoe for my P10F and the enhanced Apex slide stop, slide release to put here and move this onto my P10F. And the reason why I'm not getting a striker, I mean, it's nothing wrong with having, you know, extra parts lying around. I can't tell the difference. Hold on. Allow me to break out my trigger gauge here. and you'll see what I mean. And to be honest with you, right now, the pull on the Overwatch Precision feels just a touch heavier than the one on the P10F. I'm sure this will need some breaking in until it gets a little under wherever it sits at. I can't recall. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I can't remember. So we'll just use this thing and measure it again, see where we're at. What should we start with? Let's start with, okay, snap cap in there. Ooh, that thing got yeeted out of there. Let me move this out of the way. Stop. All right, so I'm gonna start with the P10F here. All OEM internals, 4.9, 4 pound and 10 ounces. 4 pounds, 1.7 ounces. So the average on this is 4.7, if you can see that right there. 4.7 is the average pull after 3 pulls, right? I was gonna do 5, but ain't nobody got time for that. Anyway, P10F, 4.6. Nah, I've never seen that before. It was 3 pounds and 15 ounces. Ooh. Guess I'm gonna enter that in. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. So the average now is 4.6, probably because of that flyer, that 3 pound pull. I don't know where that came out of, but when I did a 5 pull average, this was a little higher than the factory one, and you can feel it too. And even the creep, like there's still a little bit of creep, kind of like the factory one right here. You can see it. Creep and then break. Yeah, I really like it the way it is. The pull hasn't changed too much. It's just shorter travel, better feel on the trigger, and that's it. So chill, guys. It's not that deep. I'm not much of a trigger snob. Like honestly, what I look for is how does it feel in my finger? Is it something that, you know, same thing with the grip, right? If the grip feels right, I'm probably gonna be enjoying shooting the firearm more. But if it doesn't feel right, the trigger doesn't feel right, I will probably steer away from it. When I look at staccatos, I'm not a big fan of staccatos, simply because of the grip. And it's not just staccatos, like any 2011 that I've felt so far. I had shot a staccato. I haven't shot a Night Hawk, but I held it. I think the Night Hawk was a little better in terms of just, you know, feel. But no, if you give me a staccato with the grip of I don't know, a P226 Legion, or even an AXG Legion, or a CZ 75, money. It feels like it was made for human hands, okay? For human beings. So it all comes down to preference and feel. Find what works for you. If you don't see the reason or the need for this, you don't have to, honestly. And I was really curious about what else I could do, because my first video that I made about the CZ P10, I said it was a boring gun. Because I didn't know what else I could do to make it better. But I realized that, you know, from time to time I was missing the slide stop, slide release, because it's so narrow and close to the sliding frame that you may miss it depending on how fast you're trying to release or drop the slide after a reload and things of that nature. So why not give me a little bit of room for error by going with the Apex slide stop, slide release, which I think works just fine. It feels great, locks back, drops, and with that, I'm done. I hope you guys are doing well. Be safe, be well. I will catch you on the next one.